Sometimes your instincts work very, very well, almost a lot, right? You had a stretch of like films that did very well. Sometimes this thing that you do, the instinct, whatever you want to call it, Lal Singh Chadha being the last one, you think about it. It seems like a good project. You get into it. You and Advait work on it, but at the end, something, whatever happens, it's
Sure.
like and you cannot really go and say this is why it went wrong or something. How do you process it?
First, I mourn the loss of the film and the fact that it didn't work. And then I pick myself up and try and figure out what happened, where we went wrong, what was it that didn't connect with the audience. Because I feel that a good film cannot be stopped. And a film that doesn't connect, you can do what you want in the marketing, is not going to work. So if the film has not worked, that means it has not connected. But I'm equally aware that a large percentage of the audience which saw the film did not connect with it. So my understanding at the end of the day is that 25% of the audience really loved the film. I'm one of those 25% who loved this film. For this 25%, it's the best film.
Right.
But unfortunately, the larger 75% of the audience did not connect with it. And that is a reality that we should face. And I feel that one of the reasons that we did not succeed was that we went wrong was my performance. I think my performance as Laal, especially the younger Laal, college and army and all of that, I think it was pitched too high.
Okay.
I pitched it too high. And so that's why it didn't kind of work. You must remember that the original Forrest Gump, in terms of its writing, is not very mainstream because it doesn't have a clear premise.
Right.
The premise is a question which the film does not answer. The body of the film, the main chunk of the film, is meandering because it's episodic. It follows the character. It's not a streamlined writing. And the third point is that your main plot gets over because the main plot is Forrest is in love with Jenny. As a child, we know he's in love with Jenny. So for us, the main plot is how does he finally get Jenny in his life? Does he or does he not? And he does get Jenny back and she finally gets married to him. Goal accomplished. Goal accomplished, your film has to get over within 2 minutes. But in the original also, goal accomplished, but the film is trying to say something more.
Yeah.
So it continues for 15, 20 minutes after that. And the main thought of the film, the philosophy of the film, comes out in the grave scene. 1 year after his wife is dead.
Right.
When he's sitting on the grave, I think that's the second last scene of the film. So in its structure, in its writing, it is breaking three very important rules of mainstream writing.
Right.
So the writing should tell you that this is not mainstream. It's a niche film. But the original was not a niche film. It was huge. People loved it. Why?
Yeah.
Same problems are there in the original. When I'm saying problems, I'm using the word loosely. Same issues are there in the film, in the original and ours. In the original, the difference was that Tom Hanks' performance was so good that the fact that it was a meandering script didn't matter. I was happy to go on this journey with this character. I fell in love with him and I was happy to go on this journey wherever he took me. That happened with Forrest Gump. In Laal Singh, my performance let the film down. So I couldn't carry the audience with me. According to me, that's what went wrong in retrospect.
But Aamir, you have these test screenings. And that is something that you have, again, like you brought the other things in, this is something that you have almost institutionalized over here. And you obviously get your feedback. When you got the feedback for Laal Singh, what was it like?
With Laal Singh was kind of mixed, I have to say. In the sense that, like a lot of people said, when they get married, why don't you end the film over there?
Right.
And that's a very mainstream thing to do. He's finally got Rupa in his life, the girl he was wanting to marry, and all is hunky-dory, and that's when the film ends. The audience was constantly telling us, no, but you have 2-3 ends. वो यहाँ पे भी end होता है, फिर पता नहीं, फिर finally वो इतना सब आप आगे क्यों जा रहे हो? शादी हो गई, बस खत्म, we are happy.
Yeah.
So a lot of audiences wanted us to end the film over there.
Right.
I understand what they are saying and I understand why they are saying it. But the film that we are making is trying to say something beyond that.
Right.
So I could not compromise with what I felt is the soul of Forrest Gump.
Right.
If I had ended the film, if we had ended the film at the marriage, then we are really seriously, we may have a successful film, but you're seriously, then you're not being honest to the soul of
Yeah.
what the original is.
So you and